Introducing the African Diaspora News Channel app, your gateway to stories that's overlooked by the corporate mainstream media.
And we serve as the voice to the Truval Black community.
Again, we got Dr. Candace Matthews.
A lot of these documents, looking at.
We are committed to informing and educating through the power of media.
This country is supposed to be about the land of the free for all. It has not been free for Black people, and we are tired.
With our platform, we're helping to end injustice by exposing it.
Join us in standing for excellence in journalism and serving our community. Download the African Diaspora News app today.
Africa is disappointed in South Africa. Why our elections matter to the continent. Hello, my name is Renee Lomorema, and I am your host right here on the African Diaspora News channel, reporting live from Johannesburg, South Africa. A lot of people online have expressed their disappointment about the election results, and those people are our fellow African brothers and sisters. They expected Julius Malema, a Pan-African man, to at least get a number of supporters, making him the official opposition party instead of the DA. But instead, the DA, a party led by a white man, surpassed Julius Malema's EFF party. And now Africans are wondering, why did South Africa give their vote to a white man? Check out what this woman had to say.
Why did Julius Malema perform poorly? We all thought that with what is going on in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, the people of South Africa has also seen and wished same for South Africa. We thought that the people in South Africa are blacks, but it appears to be that these people are white. These people are white in the sense that they don't see their real enemy. Instead of them to attack the 20% of the white who occupy the 80% of their land, to see them as their real threat and problem, they rather see Nigerians, Cameroonians, Ghanaians, and other Africans who are just there to work as their enemy. So they really went and voted against Julius Malema because he's a Pan-Africanist. And according to what I learned, the things that if Julius Malema becomes the president of South Africa, he is going to open up the borders of South Africa to other African countries. So other Africans will come into South Africa and they will work and compete with them when their real enemy is there. So they even went ahead to vote for the white man. They thought that they are doing somebody. My fellow brothers and sisters in South Africa, you are only causing your own harm and downfall. What makes you think that if we don't come to South Africa, we are not going to develop? You still need a lot of education. Your problem is not your brothers and sisters who are blacks. Your problem is the white man whom you have decided not to see to be your threat. Majority of South Africans do not want the liberation of Africa. And if Africa will become liberated, then I think we have to do away with South Africans because they are not ready to do away with the apartheid regime that they are going through.
When apartheid government fell in 1994, the continent rose up in applause. The end of white minority political rule and the inauguration of the ANC as the new government of South Africa was a shared celebration. Many African nations played a vital role in supporting the ANC and its cadre in the fight against apartheid. Political freedom in South Africa was a significant beacon of light and liberation in the continent's long crusade against colonialism and towards self-determination. In 1957, Ghana became the first African country to gain independence. South Africa was the last of the former colonies to attain political freedom. Kwame Nkrumah, Ghana's president, spoke of how the independence of Ghana was meaningless unless it is linked up with the total liberation of the African continent. In 1994, hopes were high for South Africa. Hailed as a miracle nation under the leadership of Nelson Mandela, South Africa was abundant with promises and possibility in 1994 under the leadership of Nelson Mandela. In the early years, South Africa, the last born of liberation on the continent, could do no wrong. But 30 years later, the mythical miracle nation is the world's unequal country. It has failed its black majority amid an unhappy combination of rampant corruption, high unemployment rate, crippling power cuts, and feeble economic growth. The election in South Africa takes place on a continent that has not been served well by democracy. The era of political liberation in Africa did not wash away the legacy of colonialism. Economic plunder, deprivation, and dependency continues to linger along with cultural and societal fragmentation. The most notable transformation in Africa has been of once upon a time selfless freedom fighters into greedy political despots. That's the only transformation that I have noticed, to be honest. One trend I notice happening across Africa, which I think it is a bold direction to the rise of Africa, is that seasoned political parties and leaders who have held on to power for too long are being rejected. The era of liberation parties being the only party in town and the reign of single-party dominance may well be ending in a shake-up of democracy fashioned by multi-party configurations and coups. But still, fear and lack of interest lingers on because most people do not believe that elections necessarily ensure representative, accountable governance. Faith in democracy and elections have plummeted across the continent. According to the Human Science Research Council, voter participation in South Africa during elections fell from a high 86% in 1994 to 49% in 2019. However, for now, South Africa is the gold standard for free and fair elections on the continent. The success of the South African election is vital for the health of democracy in Africa. If that is compromised in any way, whether it's through unfair voting or rigged election results, it will devalue the standard of democracy itself, pushing Africa further away from the dream of revolution. South Africa is an economic powerhouse on the continent, and if it falls in the wrong hands, the rest of Africa is doomed. So you see why our fellow brothers and sisters across the continent are disappointed in us. The ANC failed to achieve good results as it always had for the past 30 years. It fell below the 50% margin, so it will force it to go into coalition with other political parties, and sources say the ANC is leaning towards the DA. A coalition between the DA and the ANC will be a middle finger to the African Liberation Project. Such a coalition will backstage issues of African unity and collaboration and veer South Africa towards Europe and the US. This is what we call doomsday coalition. This doomsday coalition will result in South Africa moving away from BRICS in pursuit of the restoration of US and the Europe economic ties and cooperation. This would be welcomed by the US and France in particular, who are being rejected by African countries, especially in West Africa. In the event of this coalition, South Africa's foreign policy and stance on Israel will also be toned down. A coalition between the ANC and EFF has put intense fear in many Western-leaning media players and markets. Many view this partnership as one which could supersize corruption and diminish the rule of law. But that is not true. That is not true. Such an alliance could see a stronger economic and cultural ties across the continent and more human and sustainable solution to African migrancy. I saw a lot of comments under this woman's video on TikTok, a lot from South Africans saying, how is our election any of y'all's business? You guys are just mad that you won't access South Africa like you used to. Some were saying this is a national matter, stay out of it and focus on your own ruined country. And I want to urge you guys to stop with this mindset. South Africa's elections reverberate far beyond its borders.
Why did Julius Malema perform poorly? We all thought that with what is going on in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, the people of South Africa has also seen and wished same for South Africa. We thought that the people in South Africa are blacks, but it appears to be that these people are white. These people are white in the sense that they don't see their real enemy. Instead of them to attack the 20% of the white who occupy the 80% of their land, to see them as their real threat and problem, they rather see Nigerians, Cameroonians, Ghanaians, and other Africans who are just there to work as their enemy.
The outcome of these elections will not only shape the trajectory of South Africa, but will also influence the political and economic dynamics across the entire SADC region and essentially the whole continent. The matter of fact is we chose wrong. As black people, we shouldn't have given our votes to the DA. We shouldn't have given DA, the white man, a vote. We should have shrinked them, not the EFF. The EFF massive blow at the polls will have deadly effects for black people. You guys think the DA cares for you? Because what? You see the city of Cape Town always clean, bright lights always on, people living the comfortable life with warm blankets and Wi-Fi and views of the beach, and you think this is going to be the same for the rest of South Africa? Check the skin color of these people that are living this expensive, extravagant Kardashian life. Check their skin color. And then after that, check where the colored and black people live. If they have failed to support and sustain the black and colored people in Cape Town, do you think a black person in Tembisa, Johannesburg will be taken care of? Do you honestly think the DA has our best interest at heart? You are playing right into the DA's hands. Look at what might happen in KZN. Let me be honest with you. Zuma won the majority, but those numbers aren't enough to form a strong government in KZN. The DA, the ANC, and the IFP might form a coalition to try and kick Zuma out, to stop him from attaining power in KZN. Why is the IFP not correlating with MK Party? I'll tell you why. Because the IFP is an agent of apartheid government. Yes, I said it. If you remember in the late 80s, towards the end of apartheid, de Klerk was pressured to stop apartheid and give the people of South Africa a chance to vote for a party they want to govern. A chance at freedom. Do you think de Klerk, by his mercy and grace, gave black South Africans the country and folded his arms and say, you know what? Black people have at it, have the country. No, he funded a party, a black party, to fight Nelson Mandela's ANC and made it seem like it is just black people fighting for power. It is just black people being greedy. But the IFP and the ANC war was more than that. One wanted true freedom for people and the other wanted benefits promised to them by white people should they win this fight.
Yes, I am a Zulu. In Natal, for example, all the people living in Natal are Zulu-speaking people, and this fight has been going on. So we cannot say it's a tribal war going on in Natal, but it is a war generated by the system, you know, to destabilize all the progressive forces that are trying to come up with a solution.
Ya, timani la mkuku yabona loya. Timeni phafuna namanzi ngichime la mkuku ngoba izawuthi uzawubamba kulokutya phambili.
The IFP is a tribalistic party that killed thousands of black innocent people across South Africa. They killed you if you didn't speak Zulu. They killed you if you were affiliated or associated with the ANC. I mean, as a black party that claims to want freedom for the people, why would you kill your fellow black brothers and sisters for their choices? Why would you kill a black person for not being Zulu? Why would you kill a person for being associated with the ANC? Why, if you were truly for the black people, if you truly wanted liberation and freedom for your black people, why would you kill them? De Klerk worked behind the scenes of the IFP party. They lack loyalty. They would rather pair up with the DA and their arch-enemy, the corrupted Ramaphosa ANC, just to stay in power. They've already sold their souls once. They've already sold their souls once. So what is the difference this time? One thing about people like Zuma and Julius Malema, it is not about power for them. It is about the liberation of their people. That is why we connect with them. That is why we love them naturally so. No amount of vote can tell us how much we love Julius Malema and Jacob Zuma. Zuma did not have to promise us fire and ice, yet he won a lot of seats in parliament. He won over a lot of people in KZN. That should speak volume. That should speak volumes, to be honest. We as the citizens that voted for the DA, we played right into their hands. One thing about black South Africans, they are far away from their culture and their identity. And that is what the DA is counting on, to be honest. If you don't know who you are, you can easily fly with the wind. I see you guys on TikTok, black parents being proud of their kids for not knowing their culture, for not speaking their home language. Imagine applauding them when they make fun of traditional practices. Being proud that their children are far away from their ancestors. Even going as far as calling their cultural practices or traditional practices demonic. Calling their fellow African brothers and sisters demonic. Spitting on the soil of Africa, the soil that carried our ancestors' blood. They are spitting on it. I see you guys on TikTok. I'm not blind to that. I am not blind. Today you look down on your fellow Africans, accusing them of all sorts of things. I'm not saying they are innocent. There are some foreign nationals that are very naughty in our country that do the most atrocious criminal activities ever. I'm not on their side. I am not trying to plead their case, but you guys attack them and accuse them of all sorts of things. And I too have a hand in that. I've made many segments accusing my fellow brothers and sisters of things. But that is what the white man is counting on. Lack of knowledge, lack of identity, lack of culture, renouncing your black skin is what the white man, it's what makes the white men happy. They are counting on that because they can easily feed you lies and confuse you even further. That is why you gave them your votes. You do not know who you are. White people don't have culture, so they don't care if they destroy yours. They are displaced and they are trying to displace you, and you are allowing it. Once they gain control of South Africa, the economic hub of Africa, I repeat, once they gain control of South Africa, the economic hub of Africa, they will squeeze us out of our own continent. And you will migrate to the Western countries, leaving behind your homes, your seed, and cutting your bloodline and becoming identityless. And you know what is funny? You would think you are living on your own accord. You would think that, no, I'm just, going to the Western country in search for better opportunities just to find myself. But no, history will be repeating itself. You will be living like our ancestors that were dragged to the Western countries, but only this time there won't be shackles or chains around your necks, but the chains and shackles will be around your spirit. Continue giving these white men your votes. Continue downplaying Julius Malema. Continue pretending like you don't understand what Julius Malema is all about. Julius Malema did not say, I'm going to put foreigners above South African citizens. Julius Malema did not say all Africans should flock to South Africa and make sure that the economy is overwhelmed. He did not say that. You guys only hear what you want to hear because you already made up your mind about Julius Malema a long time ago. You already made up your mind about Julius Malema a long time ago. So you hear what you want to hear, and you're allowing the fake propaganda of the DA, the white man, to further mess you up, to confuse you even further because you're so far gone. You're gone off the grid. You are so far away from your identity and your culture. You're not in tune with yourself, and they're counting on that. So continue patronizing the EFF. Continue playing with the EFF. Continue that you don't see what is happening. Ibrahim Traore is fighting the very same thing we are implementing in South Africa. He's fighting to get the white men out. We should be doing the same. Not elevating them. DA should have not expanded. DA should have not become the official opposition party. DA should not even be number 2 in the country. But you guys allowed that. You gave the white men your vote, and you think because you know what? And I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I had the same mindset. I remember I spoke to Uncle Phil and said, you know what? We vote for the DA because we are comfortable. I live in a region where in a municipality where the DA is governing us, and I will tell you that the garbage is always clean. The service delivery is impeccable. The garbages are always clean. Whenever we have load shedding or electrical faults, they are always on site to fix it. Whenever there's a water outage, they update us and tell us what is happening. They are on par with communication, and things are smooth sailing. But one thing about white people, don't even play yourselves, guys. They can play the long game. They can play the long game. They are willing to soft you up for 100 years just for them to catch you while you're still sleeping, put themselves in power, and they will never ever bring that power back to you. Once they take control of the country they lost 30 years ago, best believe they will never ever give it back. Once they take control, they will never give it back. They lost it once and they saw it was deadly for them. They saw that it was not a good environment for them. It was not conducive for their agendas. So now when they take it for the second time, we are dead. They will never bring it back, and you are to blame for giving them your vote. I'm not saying go to the polls and vote for the EFF. Guys, if the EFF does not speak to you, if the EFF's policies do not shake your movie or you don't understand them, you don't have to vote for them. There are other black parties. Build One South Africa with Mmusi Maimane, and Mmusi Maimane explained so many times why he left the DA. Because the DA was a racist organization, a racist party, a party that does not think race plays a vital role in the inequality and poverty of South Africa. He saw DA for what it truly. He was a leader and he left the DA. Why do you think that? A person that used to lead white people, a black person that used to lead white people is telling you the DA is bad news, and you run and you give them your votes. Shame on you. Shame on you. This is not, guys, this is not even about xenophobic attacks, xenophobia. The people are here to take our jobs. It's not even about that. You guys don't see beyond that. You guys, this is the type of mentality South Africans have, the lack mentality. You're always thinking me, me, me. You're always saying, I want this, I want to be comfortable. It's my job, it's my economy, it's my healthcare system, it's my education system, it's my mind. No foreigners should touch that. And you are right to fight for your own things in your own country. You are right to do that. But you guys are only thinking here. The DA is already navigating on ways to bring in the West to come infiltrate the whole of Africa. And you guys gave them your vote. It's all on you, guys. at the end of the day, each to their own. What do you think about this segment? Comment to us in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and share the broadcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss these groundbreaking conversations right here on the African Diaspora News channel.